a bit of a tale, but
great, right?
I've seen CeRq absolutely take over Mirage so many times. One thing I will say is I genuinely hope they just let him off. I know CeRq's been picking up the AWP mostly here, but CeRq can be a bit of a game changer. We've seen it before. We've seen it many a time. If he is a pop-off map, he's just BO1s. This could get messy before you know it. Breezy, he's not interested in mess. He's coming in to clean up the palace. We are into the fray. We are into the action. Two players beating their way up catwalk. A little bit of a pinch on towards B, and a 1-for-1 there does open things up. Problem is, even if they get this bomb plant, it is going to be a 4v2 in the retake. They need to get this bomb planted quick. CeRq, you better run. The reinforcements are on the way, and there may no longer be a clean path to actually get this. Okay, they're giving them the space. I like that. Flank is on, though. Automatic. Making his way on up. Bomb money secured at the very least, but are they prepared for automatic to be here already? He's got all the info. He's got the damage. He knows where the last is. CeRq finds one. Looking for the second as well, but can't find the headshot of that. Hex will put him down. And that's a nice pistol round for the evil geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, good job by CeRq to find the space onto the B site and lead CeRq to plant that bomb, but EG just too much to deal with on that pistol round. But I wanted to add a little bit more about CeRq. We know how dominant he can be online, but even on LAN, he has been a monster over the last year. We saw him at Philadelphia, absolutely unbelievable. In over 18 maps, he's had an impact rating of 1.37 and an ADR of 87.7, along with 379 frags. He is so impactful when it comes to LAN performances for this squad.
He is indeed. He can be a real difference maker. The problem is the consistency, right? And that's a problem for Nouns on the whole. Individuals can pop off. We've seen it from CeRq, we've seen it from George, we've seen it from B-Wills all the time.
Yeah.
But it's about getting those three guns firing together all at once. If that happens, if they all have their fine form, they're a very dangerous team. We just haven't necessarily had the sustained success from them.
Especially lately for them, unfortunately. Except for Inferno, every other map has been a bit of a rough go.
Bit of it, for sure. They've tried to impose more discipline, more structure, more order. It's been a mixed bag.
It's tough when you have players who like to thrive off of that lack of structure, right?
Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do. For a long time, this team was sort of defined by chaos. Now they tried to forge something out of it. Mid control has been completely conceded here by Evil Geniuses. You have a player catwalk. Breezy just kind of looking at things. And some pepper up damage in here. CeRq put on notice. JazzPimp drop. This is looking good for EG on the initial brush, and that cleanup from automatic means that it's just left to B-Wills. And Mr. William can only find one more kill.
Not the greatest start for Nouns on that force buy, as EG makes it look easy. 2-0
for
in their
EG.
favor. Yeah. I mean, we have two new additions, obviously, over the last 2 months for EG. Kind of talked about it on the panel, but HexT along with Nealon, and I mean, they've been performing pretty well. HexT in particular is a player I always wanted to see get this chance, right, to jump up to the top tier. He's been so impactful when he was playing on the EG, well, white, right?
EG Black.
Black,
EG
sorry.
Black.
Yes, get them crossed up, sorry.
Yep.
But yeah, he was so impactful on that EG Black roster for so many years, even playing with that core. And he just was able to frag out top frag season after season, and eventually, you know, it was bound to happen. He's going to get that chance to play at the tier 1 level, and he's so far been pretty solid. Yeah,
he brings a lot of value to a team as well in terms of his willingness to just rip into entries. He's a pretty fearless player, very much likes to open up situations, and that rifling absolutely can be crispy. So I mean, we're already seeing good returns from it, and I think he's a player who I'm so thrilled to see continue to develop within this roster as well, with his experience around him, you know, with automatic, with Breeze, with CeRq, with Nealon now bringing in a little bit of that EU CS or the Kazakh CS, as the case may be. You do like to see it. CeRq, speak of the man, he's going to get aggressive in this one. Desk was calling him out, saying they wanted a CeRq performance, and it looks like he might be about to find the bomb. Oh, he's about to find everybody. 2 kills for CeRq. There's the bomb. Okay, CeRq getting a third. He's got a third. Round's over.
I mean, look, Nouns didn't bring much into it. Just Glocks, but a nice play from CeRq. Nice play from CeRq, pushing up to get the 3K, and CeRq the last one standing here. And Palace doesn't have the bomb, doesn't really have a chance into the round. A couple of pieces of utility might be worth carrying on forward, but the loss bonus is better. So he's probably just going to send himself onto a mission to get as many frags as possible before he gets dropped to dirt. And now he's firing away, giving up his position to ensure that at least he gets said fights. Nade's going to fly on in, takes him down to only 90 HP. Not too bad. And now he will get finished off. Hex riddling the bullets into his body with the Galil, and it's 3-0 for EG.
Now, the player I think is most intriguing on Nouns in terms of I don't know what his individual performance is going to look like at this tournament is CeRq.
Yeah.
He's obviously not had a hot start here, but we're only through 3 rounds, so it's irrelevant here. But he's been in-game leading for the team. He's been opping as well, and unfortunately, since he took over the in-game leading and since they've been bringing in a little bit more stability and structure, his individual performance has taken a massive step back. It's a hard mantle to assume, to take both the opping and the in-game leading, where you're relying on your individual performance and you're trying to keep the whole team moving. But we know that CeRq can be a game changer in terms of the way that he plays if his individual form is on point. He's a monster on lurks. He's really terrifying in the late round at times. We just haven't seen it in a little while, and I think if he's got that form back coming into this RMR, into this Road to Rio event, that could be a real difference maker for Nouns.
Yeah, I definitely feel like CeRq is the most versatile and impactful player on this Nouns roster. I believe the problem is just taking over the IGL mantle is a bit too much for him to think about, and it's definitely having an impact on his fragging. I would rather perhaps someone else take up that role, but he's the only one who was willing to do it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he's had success with it before. It's just, it's a lot of things to think about all at once, and that is definitely an adaptation period.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. Into the ladder they go. Breezy gets himself one in a pretty tough spot, and that sets up his teammates nicely for this B defense. Make that just Nealon, who is killing everybody out of bullets. Unfortunate timing on that reduced magazine. But Automatic already being through the window. He wants to deny this bomb plan. He wants to deny this space, but he needs to keep himself alive. And, well, that's a pretty good way to do it. It's down to the clutch. 60 Automatic. One bullet could do it for either side. Looking for the headshots, looking for that first engagement. 60 does have to eventually plant the bomb. He's only got 25 seconds, and Automatic has given him space, withdrawn in to get a sightline on that C4. Love the way Automatic is playing this. Now can he get the execution? Oh, he's even gone further back, expecting 60 to take the fight to him. Waiting to see if that bomb gets planted. Perfect timing on the Molotov. That's exactly where he wants it.
He's taking the fight.
Ooh,
he's got time.
Still got a window. Automatic can't test it. Not with the health he's got. Timing gonna be everything here, but Automatic, patient, calm, cool, collected, and he'll come on top.
Yeah, he's the only one who hasn't died yet in the server. 6-0. Nice engagement.
Looking for that high five.
There. Yeah.
No fist bumps on land. He wants full skin.
Well, I won't go any further into that one, Mike. But yes, very nicely done by Automatic. And, of course, a 4th round picked up on the first gun round coming through from the Nouns side. The thing is, for 60, he performed very well in that round. Was just barely missing his opportunity to clutch it out and get that one on through for a 1st round victory on the Nouns side.
See, Hex got the hand warmers going. You a hand warmer gamer?
Not really, but I probably should be, because sometimes when you have cold hands, it's impossible to play well.
Yeah,
I can't
it is
do
a challenge. But when you get sweaty palms, too, who wants sweaty palms?
I don't really have that problem as much as the cold hands.
Gotta have a fine balance there, I guess.
Yeah.
There are some people, there's some people just sweat profusely through their palms, specifically. I forget the name of it, but it's a specific, like, body thing. Just a weirdness. Where you just, what is it?
I said, is it? I didn't know.
Is it? Yeah. It's a specific thing. I think it's genetic, but I'm not exactly sure of it. But some people just, like, have profuse sweating through their palms, which would make Counter-Strike very difficult. Another buy round up for Nouns. We'll see if their palms are sweaty. Something about mom's spaghetti. A little of utility exchange here in mid. 60 not looking so good off the back of it. He's been taking a lot of that early damage. It's interesting. They seem to be playing him first in quite a bit, at least on these early rounds. And he is a player who can create on his own, but he's such a monster mechanically. You may not expect him to be the player trying to open things up. Does seem like they have their sights set on the A site. Presence here in ramp. 3 defenders, but an opening pick might start to spread this defense out a little bit. Yeah, well, less so if Automatic kills somebody. That helps. Alleviates the pressure. Finds the catwalk player as well. Which means that they have information towards that side of the map. An exchange there, but the health is not looking good for Nouns. Even with the even numbers, they need to get one more. They need to get one more because they're just running out of HP. And, well, as this round gets later, Nouns have actually failed to get onto the site proper. The bomb's down, and it's a disaster for JazzPimp.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Nothing good there for Nouns in that round, and EG are making it look pretty straightforward at this point on their CT side. 5-0 Nouns. I mean, they have the full loss bonus kicking in, but the problem is if they invest into this one, the utility is going to be a little too late. They could go for some Mac 10s, mix in the AKs, but a better buy is just Tech 9s. Get some Tech 9s.
We saw the Tech 9 shred on overpass.
Yeah, why not? Go for a quicker play here, and it looks like they're already posturing towards the A set, but they have one player heading into the apartments. That is George, lurking around, hoping to get an opener. He's waiting in potentially the right spot here, hoping that a push comes from underpass, but that won't come to fruition into this round as EG wants to play it a little more passively.
Gonna wait until we hit a minute 30-ish, and here we go.
Here's that hit.
Smokes in. You'll have George come up late through the underpass. And it does seem like they've got the space, at least for a plant. There is going to be counter util from the EG side. Hex wants to spam, put them on notice, but they need to get the C4 down while the smokes are still up. And it's just gone stairs. It's just gone stairs. Can't do that. Can't do that. Need to plant now. The longer the time goes on, the worse this is going to get. The window has been missed. Nouns tried to take the positioning in towards connector, and so instead, they will likely get nothing into this round. It's all left to George. Mr. Snorts. Has he got it? No.
Okay, well, I mean, the utility was there. It was a good execute, and then they decided to go for that control of connector instead of just planting the bomb, which would have been
I don't mind the connector control, just also plant the bomb at the same time.
Yes, please. Like, exactly. Just go and get that bomb planted because there was really no reason not to. And it would have given you $800, and then maybe you can take that fight and win it towards connector, but planting the bomb was so important in that round, they just couldn't get it.
They do have a bomb or a full buy here, full util as well, no issues. No op, but don't need to run the op P side.
You want to get your economy up whenever possible, though, and that was a bit of a...
Automatic opening pick here. And it's looking good for EG on initial brush. Mid presence has been disastrous here for Nouns. They've lost 2 casualties, and they don't have a lot to show for it. A little bit of space, but even then, they haven't really pressured the connector and catwalk players. They're very content to play from these positions, and Automatic's even poking around the smoke to see if he can't get more. You're going to need B-Wills to do something out of Palace if this round's going to turn into anything. And he's looking for it. He knows he has to go forward, but in doing so, he leaves himself exposed to Automatic. Can't really blame him for that one. Had to create something, but this is looking disastrous. George and 6 are alive, but they've got nothing to work with. A little bit of space on catwalk, but the question is, can they get past Breezy here in the ladder room? The answer is no! No, they cannot. And meanwhile, 6's had to even just go back to spawn to try and get the bomb.
Whew.
Bye, 6. Well, now, this is about as rough a start as you could get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's talk about the positives here for EG. Automatic's looking incredible.
Oh, yeah, they're looking on point, man.
His performance is carrying over from Pro League. He's looking super strong, 12-2 scoreline. Everyone is performing as you would expect. And on the Nouns side, I mean, Mirage used to be their bread and butter. I don't know what's going on. Even over the last 4 matches that they lost in a row, 2 7-16s against Strife and Team 1. They play Strife and Team 1 again, and I guess that didn't work out for them. The second time, especially against Team 1, 5-16. Did go to OT against Strife, 16-19, but still none of them coming up as W's. And here again, a very rough start against EG. There hasn't been much good to talk about, and we also mentioned how CeRq hasn't been performing well.
And he's on the hero rifle here. He doesn't have a kill yet. That's an interesting choice to go for the hero AK. Let's see if he can crack that goose egg. No, he can't. He's dead already. Automatic's found that, and this is another slaughter. So a little bit of a questionable purchase there into the hero rifle. Maybe a little bit of frustration setting in here early.
They had the money to do it, so I guess they wanted to try it. But I think the person it was on was more the problem than the buy-up.
I mean,
maybe they want to get CeRq activated, right?
You can't have that moment where you go, maybe I shouldn't have the rifle, because then your confidence is in the toilet.
Of course.
Just got to keep buying. Just got to keep shooting, right? What's the saying? I'd rather go... Oh, I don't remember it. But it's something about shooting in basketball. You know, you'd rather go like 0 for 20 because it means you kept shooting, than 0 for 3 because then you just got scared, or whatever it is. I don't remember the line. But suffice it to say...
I think passing's important if you're not hitting your shots.
John with a triangle offense here. It's about all of my basketball knowledge now expended on the stream. Automatic, he's looking to dunk. He's gaining the space towards top mid. He's got this setup here. It's a bit more of an aggro setup than we've been seeing. CeRq in the connector with the op, player up on catwalk, that's Breezy, and then Automatic. So this is the triumvirate, the EG core, locking down mid, leaving the new additions to secure the periphery. And they haven't really tested Nealon too much yet. They had 1 or 2 rounds over towards B. Nealon did just fine in those.
Oh, that's a nice entry.
Automatic gone. Survives the encounter with the AWP. Breeze is there to clean up George at the very least. And 2 players have been put on notice health-wise. Can they finish it? CeRq. Oh, and Sandwich. He could be huge. He could be huge, but the timing is brutal. And again, he gets caught out. Trying to make a play.
Okay.
It's not working. 2 kills come back through. Advantage Nouns. But the bomb's back in spawn, and this could be caught. Nealon's on the hunt. Nealon's on the chase.
Nealon knows.
He spots the player. He knows it's there. He knows the bomb is there. He's going to start to accelerate. But the problem is, with Beatles having gone all the way into spawn, JazzPimp has to brave a lot of angles to actually plant this bomb, and they ain't got smokes. So he's going to wait. He's going to freeze up, and that means Nealon on the flank might be about to feast because they're waiting for Beatles to get activated through the murder hole.
He has no idea.
Nope, no clue. That's it. That's the round. 15 seconds. There's not even really enough time. And Beatles is even mollied out. That's to hide this presence.
The round's over.
But now you got to go through the molly. He's got to sprint to try and get this kill. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7. Does he even have time to plant theoretically?
No.
Nope. Nope.
Especially
over.
not now. Maybe if he doesn't hit the... No, even if he does. It's just that there's no time left to get back to the bomb site. Well,
frustration there.
I mean, there has to be frustration in that round because they actually managed to recover and make it a 2v2. But even with all that space that was gained towards CT, unable to find the bomb plant because of Nealon's position on that flank. So talked about Nealon not necessarily being challenged too much, and again, he's able to gain all that space, pushing up towards the apps and into spawn. So, Evil Genius is 9, Nouns nothing, and that was, to their credit, one of the better rounds they've played here so far. They just couldn't close it out. Breezy is actually not going to get anything here. It doesn't have to. Automatic finds the headshot onto CeRq through the smoke and immediately falls off. Does take quite a bit of damage. So does Breezy. They're on notice. Need to fall back and be careful. But Automatic's not falling off. He's going to get caught. He does. 60 finds him with the AK. 4v3 in favor of EG. 60 slipped through.
Look at the bomb.
Oh, the bomb isn't with... Oh, man.
They've got all this mid control, but they're going to have to send a player back. 60 and George might make that viable, though. Peeling back 2 extra kills. Now they've got a massive situation, but one of these players in Connected needs to go back. They have to go back. What will it profit them to gain the site if they don't have the bomb? Well, they might just kill everyone at this length because Nealon has served himself up on a silver platter. Very nice round out from Nouns. Could have gone awry if VG sat back and maybe played a little more passive, but of course they didn't know the situation.
No.
And that's where we're expecting the 6C effect to come in. Those kind of rounds. It's only the first one we've had, but if they can get that going a little bit more, it can be a difference maker for Nouns.
Yeah, Nouns have to be careful with that bomb, though. It's not the first time in the past couple of months that I've seen them leave it in a very odd position and completely out of the play. So, yeah, they're lucky that it doesn't come into become a factor in that round and are able to just get all the frags to find it. At least getting a way to crack themselves onto the scoreboard is important. Here is Breezy pushing up into mid, though. He gets 2. CeRq and 60 are dropped 5v3 just like that in the first 20 seconds. But now Nouns are going to activate towards B and try their hand there. Not much success either. CeRq finds another. Nealon drops B-Wills. Only George left standing, who does get a consolation prize. But as he gets tagged down, a second, okay. Maybe more than a consolation prize. Bomb plant going to come through, but 15 HP in a 1v3 clutch required.
Tough ask here for George. We'll see if the young gun, the youngest man on the roster, can step up here when they need him most. He's backed into the corner, playing from jail here. And they're slow. They're methodical on this retake. That's going to give a little bit of space towards George. He's trying to play a little bit of an off angle. You expect him to be tucked behind the bench, but he needs that element of surprise for the first engagement. He knows that he has to win these initial numbers. Timing is there. He finds the first, looks for the second. Good read on the situation, but Automatic is just too crispy today. Not missing much there.
Yeah.
And the defuse will come in. What a way to answer for EG.
All things considered, not a bad round for George, and if the lead wasn't so dominant for EG, that would have been a significant amount of economic damage. But the problem is, EG have already built up so much economy that, yeah, it doesn't really matter. But still, nice effort from George, given the situation that he was put in. I always thought he was going to go down here, but no, he survives the shot and then manages to connect for not only 2, but 3 frags at the end of the round.
Let's talk about Automatic, though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Automatic. 15 and 4. Dominating in these rounds. He's making it look so good on the engagements. I mean, Evil Genius's form has been the sort of big question mark coming into this. They had a nice run at Pro League. They showed a lot better of a look. They're finally winning series on lands. It's been a long time since they did that. And now we've got them here with more familiar competition, playing in the America's Road to Rio event. there's a real opportunity to build on some of that positive momentum they got coming through, and for an EG product that they've been remaking things, they've been rebuilding, they've been changing things around, they've been changing their approach, they've hired every coach available under the sun, all to try and get this project on the right tracks. This is positive momentum, certainly in their first matchup.
I feel like in general for EG, not only the main squad, but the secondary squads are performing well as well. So far, in my opinion, the project is looking pretty solid, and having all that coaching experience, like you were saying, behind it to support all three squads is incredible. And here we go again. Automatic's going to get the frag onto 60. CeRq trades out, so finally Automatic is going to go down here. Only his 5th death of this half. As we have a 4v4 in our hands, and Nouns, they've stalled out a little bit. They're going to rotate back in towards T-spawn. They have the presence in mid, and they're going to throw a lot of utility. That's CeRq doing the work there, just to keep control of it and keep EG guessing. But as it stands, the A setup is not too shabby with a player over at Firebox and one at CT. Support can come through from CT as well.
I don't think Breeze has played a Firebox yet this map. I don't think so. They have mollies, but the question is just, are they going to check it? Because this is a new spot, right? Breeze has mostly been playing in towards mid for these initial engagements, and they're counting on that perhaps, right? Hex playing from Ticket is how they've been this setup. It's usually been Ticket and then Window. So the question is, how diligent are Nouns going to be here? They have the utility to clear it out, but you got to do it. One molly in the right place, and this could be over. One molly missed. Well, it could be the other way. Utility sailing over. Breeze safe in his spot just yet. Might be playing this a little baity, but that's okay. This is the design of it. And now he's going to strike, and can't execute. There we go. Nice response from George. That could have been the disaster. Instead, now George turns it into a strength, and Hex is going to try and get activated out through the Ticket smoke. That won't work out. Everything's coming up roses for Nouns up until Nealon gets a say.
Oh, and CeRq as well. CeRq's going to connect onto George, makes it a 2v2, so a very viable retake here for EG, and given their economy, they are absolutely going to go for this. You have to imagine anyway. I mean, certainly saving the op would be important for CeRq, but no, he immediately charges out into jungle, gets JazzPimp, 2v1, only B-Will's left standing over in Palace. He gets naded down to 64. They know exactly where to look, and CeRq finishes it off, picks up the AK to do so, immediately grabs the big green afterwards, but a nice 3K for him, and EG right back to their winning ways.
They're keeping it rolling. They're keeping it rolling. No problems here for the geniuses. Calm in all situations. I mean, they're not even cracking smiles right now. You know, we saw when we were watching Imperial earlier in the stomp, they were having a good time. They were laughing around. For EG, it's business as usual. Business as usual. This is the expectation.
Yes.
Come out and smack.
I think also maybe they just don't want to get ahead of themselves either, right? Because they want to make sure that they're serious right down until they ensure that they've got that spot in the major.
I will say, though, I've seen HexT target a little smack.
Oh, really?
Some of these EU teams. I've heard it.
Okay.
I know he's done it. Old veteran of Fragadelphia. Been around in the NAC.
It
you know,
trains you
in the trenches.
Trash talk.
And he certainly played against this entire Nouns team, if not all of the players, at said types of events. So I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm waiting for the little smack talk to come in here. I'm waiting for a little noise to go back and forth.
Good trade.
CeRq, that is CeRq's second kill. Here we go. He's onto it. But they need to get a few more. CeRq in towards Sandwich. His position is known, but they haven't been able to eliminate him just yet. Automatic, playing on the edge of the smoke. Oh, gonna catch a player with a nade in hand, and now he knows where the next is as well. Automatic will zero that in. And it's left to 60 to try and create something out of nothing. He's at least got a bit of space, but he's overwhelmed. They're not giving him any mercy, not giving him any quarter, and evil geniuses just continue the absolute pounding they're dealing out here on Mirage.
Really good job of EG playing around those smokes.
Nealon's smiling.
I mean, someone's got to smile eventually.
Someone's got to do it.
They're doing really well, 12-1 here over Nouns, but now there's a smile from CeRq as well. So we got smiles coming through, Mike.
It's funny. I feel like ordinarily the stereotype is that a lot of CIS players and teams have the more like stone-faced approach even when they're winning. But no, apparently among EG, Nealon's the first to crack a smile.
Spreading the smiles, spreading the love.
I like it. Have some fun with it. Welcome to the neighborhood, Nealon. Your citizenship is processing. You make the major, I'm pretty sure we just immediately issue him.
You're North American now.
Yeah, we claim him. CeRq's been here long enough to be, you know, nationalized. We're just taking him now. He is North American.
Oh,
We'll just keep building on it.
Hex gonna try to keep building on this lead as he drops 60 to open things up here for EG. There's that man advantage that they've had pretty much every single round. Or just a couple, perhaps. Automatic is going to be waiting over the tippy top of the smoke to spot out some players. George throws the flashbang, looking to get an entry, but a smoke right after it blocks off his vision, and now spam on through from Neil, and is just trying to keep George at bay, and he's done exactly that. George has not been able to push on through to that B site. Instead, he's going to wait in the apartments, perhaps for reinforcements to come. We'll see if this hit is going to be towards Cat onto B, or perhaps Nouns are going to readjust and head to the A site. They won't even have time to think about it, though, because CeRq's going to get dropped by Automatic, who has a bullet right for his dome.
Breezy gets caught out. Timing not with him. This opens things up interestingly in towards B, but the op is watching CeRq, providing oversight. He's been on point with Big Green, and now the funnel back towards A and Automatic, ready to welcome him with open arms. Maybe a chance for a plant, but it better do it quick, because B-Wills doesn't have any smokes to cover this off, and as soon as they actually get to the lines, this bomb is not going down. 15 seconds, there's not a lot of time to spare, and, well, it's done.
13-1. What a performance from EG as they go into the 15th and final round of play this half. Even if they lose, it's a 13-2. I mean, 14-1 would be crazy, which seems likely at this point with the way things have gone, and haven't really seen a timeout attempted from Nouns here at all. Like, they don't want to...
No, that is an interesting one. Yeah, since, I mean, there's obviously major limitations in this format to what coaches can contribute and do outside of the bounds of a timeout. So you would certainly expect Nouns to want to be getting a little something more going here. But that's going to be synced out for the count right off the rip. And this is the last round of the half. They will try desperately to get something here.
You know, the one round that EG ended up losing was when they didn't go aggressive and try for these quick picks in the early round, and then they went right back to it, and now they've got 2 already.
Smoke fade, that's the result. JazzPimp's looking to trade this, but look, they're in towards B. They push this player back towards Catwalk. They've actually got a bit of space here. Problem is, it is only these 2 players. And yeah, I mean, 60's desperate here. B-Wills does manage to find that. That'll give him a plant, but it's a 1v3 required to actually get something out of this round. Bomb plant gets you nothing at this point. You need the round win. There to the retake. B-Wills trying to isolate the fight. Spots the player in window, I think. Can't actually find the kill. It'll be HexT to put him down. There was no escaping that one. That's going to be a defuse on, and that's going to be Evil Geniuses absolutely clobbering the competition here on Mirage.
Yeah, that was clinical from EG, even towards the closing moments of that half. Played that 3v1 to perfection, holding every single angle and leaving it up to the Cat player to finish things off. So yeah, EG, great performance.
Phenomenal showing indeed. The Geniuses ready to snatch the glasses off of Nouns' faces. We'll see you after this.
My skin full of scars, I can feel anything. Turn up to feel the difference. My eyes cried out.
Well, folks, this is looking like it might be another quick one. Evil Geniuses certainly looking the genius here on Mirage as they are absolutely stomping out Nouns with no hope of mercy.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Nouns side, but let's hope for their sake that they'll be able to get things going on their CT side on the right foot. If ever there was a must-win pistol, this is certainly it for the Nouns side. I know it's cliche, but in this case, they absolutely need it. Because
it's just not enough rounds
there
otherwise.
aren't, exactly. Only one more required from EG if they take this one, so we'll have to wait and see what is up their sleeves. Looks like EG want to go towards that B site immediately. 3 players posturing, a bit of util being tossed in the early goings, and that will be some solid util, in fact, thrown for both Market Window and Cat.
There we go. A little bit of a miscue here, but B-Wills does still find a kill, and there's a second as well. It's working out. My goodness, the wolf pack of the Evil Geniuses has just been torn apart. Call Nouns the hunters here, because they're getting some nice shiny pelts. And now, Automatic's got some space in window. There's no presence on A. George, the only player who can get close. They can catch Neil in here from the catwalk presence, but they're not quite quick enough to do so. And, well, this actually might be a bomb plant.
Maybe.
Nealon risking it, bit open. Oh, B-Wills didn't realize. He saw him. That could have been disastrous, but Nealon gets away with one. And now, Automatic will not so much. So it's all on a Nealon. 1v4. Need the ace clutch in this round, and he's just got a Glock to do it. But hey, who's to say that's not viable? Certainly not Nealon. But 60 thinks otherwise. There we go. There's our must-win pistol. There's our pistol round. But a bomb plant here means Evil Geniuses are going to be coming right back to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, at least they get the bomb plant. Very risky one, in fact, but it pans out as B-Wills doesn't realize what he spotted. And still, Nouns will get the round. But the thing is, now they have to worry about the force buy that's almost inevitably going to come through for EG, especially given the lead that they've built up for themselves. And the thing is, for that round, I love the smokes that were thrown, but I almost would have rather them faked it, right? Throw those great smokes all the way over from almost a T-spawn and then just charge on into the A site, which was vacated at that point. Obviously, they didn't know. I mean, when they watch back the demo, they'll think twice about their execute.
It is amazing how well we can call things when we have this omnipotent
Yeah, we have all this information.
I don't know why teams don't just know where all 10 players are at every time.
Of course.
JazzPimp, nice opener here. That's a great way to start things off. The nice mid-presence over towards Evil Geniuses, and means that this A take is going to be somewhat one-dimensional. Clearing out angles, like the way they're playing over on the CT side. This is already a lot more promising than most of what we were seeing. You could see the ideas from the attacking half, just execution was a little lackluster. And also, everyone from EG was hit. That is one thing we do have to say. As much as this is a disaster for Nouns, it's very encouraging for the Evil Geniuses.
Oh, absolutely. Automatic on 20, and we're only 16 rounds in on more than a frag per round pace. CeRq's postured pretty well here to punish. He gets only one, though. Breezy finds the immediate trade, but look at all the damage CeRq has done. He's leaving the last 3 ripe for the picking for JazzPimp. He managed to get 2, and then 60 finishes off Automatic. So Nouns get the follow-up after the pistol round victory. They got 3. It's something.
It's something indeed. Maybe something to build on. Maybe something to build on. But it at least gives them a chance to show us what they got here on Mirage, right?
Yeah.
It'll be a heck of a comeback. CT sides are strong. Strong. I don't know about that. But, you know, stranger things have happened. Recently, even. recently.
Yes.
Been some nutty comebacks over in that European tournament. I hear they're sending some people to the major too. EU. Minor region.
It's all about NA, Mike.
It's all about the Americas. All about the Americas collectively. We're not NA, we're not SA, we are the Americas.
This is true.
SA is NA, NA is SA. It's all good. George is frag gay. Fragging. Didn't really work. Either way, JazzPimp finds his, kneel in, gets nothing. It's clean. It's so very, very clean for Nouns.
You know what the thing is, Mike? I've already like adopted the Brazilian and Argentinian teams into North America,
Sure.
just because we see them so much. So
I mean, well, look, Team 1's in Vegas, the Furias in Florida. They're NA teams.
Exactly.
SA is NA and NA is SA and
Precisely.
Central America is
one.
all A.
Sure.
Just a bunch of A's.
Hey.
Straight A's. It's either a straight A's joke or it's a different kind of A's. And we'll keep it the straight A's. We're all good there. Keep it clean. Family show.
Nice and clean.
Well, the family of evil geniuses not finding as much success here in this second half, but now they got the guns out. And with guns, they can have a whole lot more fun. I'm really not doing well this morning, John.
It's all right, Mike.
I'll get there. We got to warm up. You know, just like the players need to warm up. Need my equivalent of a demo server for corny jokes. Or is that like an open mic? Would that be a demo server? Just go do crowd work out in the player lounge?
You could.
I don't think it would work since
I don't think they'd be
a
too
good chunk of
happy.
the population is not necessarily English speaking here.
Yeah, that too.
Does make it. Maybe that makes my jokes funnier.
Because
They don't really understand what I'm saying.
they'll just laugh to try and
At me.
appease you, kind
Just
of thing.
at me.
Yeah, at you.
All good. What's not good is that B-Wheels is alone. And it's looking like as this utility starts to fade on towards B, B-Wheels might have a lot of friends coming over for dinner. Rotation could be here quickly. CeRq and George are present. CeRq's going to get into the angle. Going to preemptively drop some smokes to give himself some space to get out of market here. He's into the fray, and he's dropped. B-Wheels goes to the plate as well. Hex, 2 very nice entries. And this is looking good for the evil geniuses. Looking for one more. Hex can't have that, but it's CeRq instead to keep the advantage for them. There's a flank on. But the bomb will be planted. 6, he can't be here in time. And in the meantime, Automatic working his way into the market. Pinch. Oh, no. It's all going to be onto Automatic. This is falling apart so very quickly. Automatic not able to get in time into the fray. And well, now he's been spotted. They got the lineup, but JazzPimp puts that away. Nouns keep it rolling here. Find their 5th. Overcome the first gun round.
Honestly, that's although he only gets 1 in the round, that is all 6y because of the fact that he comes in from the apartments and really just creates chaos in the ranks of the evil geniuses once he gets that frag. Still looking for him. JazzPimp's able to sneak on through in the market, also do more damage and help that round come to fruition. So, yeah, well played by Nouns Esports in order to get a 5th. I was wondering, okay, evil geniuses, they're back on their rifles. Maybe this is it, but no. Nouns still have a little bit of fight left in them, picking up that 5th. Now they got the 3 A1Ss, the AK, and the Op once more. Full util. Over on the other side, though, EG still had a decent bank account built up, and it will be AKs for them on every single player. Hex gets tagged down to 17, though a leg shot coming through from CeRq. And he will at least survive for now. Nade comes through, and it's not for the position that Hex is playing, so he continues to hang on here for his very life, waiting for reinforcements to come through as they do want to get this mid control.
Mid-control established. It's not going to be contested here for Nouns. They've got a double pushing connector. That's the angle that they're choosing to take on this fight. They are giving a lot of ground, a lot of real estate, a lot of territory here. And the evil geniuses will be happy to plant their flag up on it. Hex looking for that point engagement. With not a lot of health. Maybe they want to play a second player behind him. Still starting to sail over. They're making this uncomfortable for George. He's checking the flames, though. Tucking to the nook. He might be able to surprise somebody. Not a lot of room to rumble. But here they go. This encounter with George.
Nice
to get the
flash.
first. Dropping out of it. CeRq's there to collect. Nice trade there from the evil geniuses. 6C spotted Automatic, and he's going to go to collect, but no! Uh-oh! Uh-oh! CeRq finds 1. It's falling apart here for Nouns. They need to get in a position. CeRq, does he realize the player's already up ticket? He spotted him. He spotted him. He's prepared. He's scoped in. Brings it back to 2-on-2. Bomb to be planted here. They're not super secure about how they can do it. A tag on the Nealon. Means that he's very uncomfortable in this, and B-Wills will drop it. CeRq in a 1v1. 15 seconds. CeRq needs to show patience. His position known. Information given over from both sides. That'll close him out. CeRq gets away with one, but he's not going to get the second. There we go. There's a step-up moment for CeRq. He gets the AWP, and here we feel his impact.
Yeah, it wasn't really felt on the opposite side, but now, as you mentioned, Mike, starts to get the rhythm going. I guess now just need to get the land jitters out of the way in that first half, but now they look a lot more comfortable settling into this CT side. Have not lost a round yet in this second half. Only 5 rounds have expired, but so far so good. They're forcing EG onto another pistol round. It's going to be 2 Tech 9s and 3 Deagles on their side, but Nouns have managed to get a decent economic footing. It's not great yet because EG's really been putting up a good fight, but this is a chance to build it up even further as Nealon's already going to charge in here towards Connector. They have to be very careful on the Nouns side not to get overloaded by this Tech 9, and the setup's quite good with 2 players waiting here with the crossfire set up, but Nealon, he gets slipped through with the flashbang thrown, and well, no, he doesn't. He just hangs around mid and actually eats a nade himself, could go down to 47. But Hex, speaking of slipping through, has gotten into window, and Breezy gets the Deagle headshot onto George.
Look at all this control on A. This is going to get disastrous. 60's going to get pinched. He manages to take out the first. He got support from Ticket, but the smoke up means that there's only so much CeRq can hope to do here. They're really trying to isolate this fight, knowing that they've got him stuck into the angle. But as time starts to slip into this, once these smokes fade, this is going to get very tricky, and the bomb's still out at Tetris. The sight lines are clearing. 60's going to go forward to create some space. He'll eventually get overwhelmed, but he did buy a ton of time for the team and sets up B-Wills to take out the connector player. So the rifle's now out. CeRq's going to try and plant, but not having Ticket cleared. This is a very risky plant indeed. And he's down for the count. It's over and done with. Nouns doing enough there to build up a little cash to keep this rolling. They're now only 7 rounds back.
Yeah, not too shabby considering that this started 14-1, double-digit rounds back with 13 total that they have to come back from here. And look, they're doing well. A timeout being called here.
Biggest change here does feel like we're getting much more impact out of CeRq as an individual, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we talked about how important it is for him to activate as a player. And I mean, he's just so critical with that AWP and swinging rounds in their favor. And I guess that's a little easier to do, obviously, on the CT side where you can be stationary and choose your spots. But yeah, he has been an important piece.
Gotta say, I think Semphis' biggest asset as a coach, he's got one of the most intense stares I've ever seen. Guy looks like he's gonna concentrate and like drill holes into you with his gaze. That's gotta be motivating for a player. Mostly because I think I'd be worried about getting laser beams.
Yes.
Not at me out of those eyes if I messed up. No miss smokes.
Well, EG back to the rifles this time. Automatic already waiting over at the A stairs for someone to try and push through the smoke, but that's not going to happen here. Only one player actually on the site proper for now on Nouns, and now 60, who was that player, falls off. He just wants to have a peek to make sure no one slipped in from window room, although I'm not sure how they could, with 2 players postured towards connector, and so quite aggressive posturing from JazzPimp here with the A1S. No one really into mid just yet on the EG side. Eventually, you have to imagine that Hex is going to push through here from the underpass. If he tosses that flashbang, there he goes. Molotov going to get thrown into connector. And he just wants to make some noise here, Mike. Doesn't necessarily want to commit to it, and he has given his other teammates a chance to push through up to those boxes at top mid.
A little bit of air put into the round. Like they're pumping up a tire. See if EG's tires are firm enough to take them home over the rocky roads of Mirage. Dusty roads. Sand, terrible for a car, John.
Yeah.
Not great for it. Not great for it. CeRq gonna miss a first shot. He hates sand. It's coarse and irritating. Gets everywhere. But so does B-Wills. Ooh, good bullets. B-Wills staying alive here. They're lining up for him. He's losing teammates, but he's still putting shots down range. Major damage taken, and CeRq able to take that through. So a 2-on-2, and look at the flank. 60's coming in here. 60's coming in here. And Hex on the other side is a little bit too slow. 60 buying time, but what? The 2 kills come in the same moment. There was no time to spare, and EG wasted none of it.
Wow, just some great shots coming through there from EG, and finally cracking the scoreboard here in this second half, and just cracking the scoreboard gives them the 15th round and map points. So that's how dominant their first half was, and now they have 8 opportunities to close this one up, but Nouns are not necessarily out of it. It might seem hopeless, but honestly,
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Nouns, despite the buy-up not being the greatest, they still got a chance into this round with the 2 A1Ss and the MP9. Even the Deagles could ring true for Sixy and CeRq. Nealon.
Well, I mean, hey, if Nouns really do want to be pro, Nouns, now's the moment to step up. How can you resist?
That was
How
good.
can you resist? Bodies making their way on through. A little bit of space given in the apartments. It's Breezy who's taking point, just trying to find cracks in that smoke to see if he can't spot toesies. Little ankles. He's like Sam on the desk. Just wants to see feet. And nothing doing just yet for Evil Geniuses. They got this forward positioning in towards apartments, but now they're going to try and take some mid control, and they will be given it. The response from Nouns is to move into ramp, right? And this is a great way to mitigate the disadvantages of having an SMG and a Deagle. As you start to take this forward positioning, you start to get these footholds, and suddenly there's a lot of information. They're coming back towards A, but George, you might be able to catch somebody unawares. They're above him, though. Uh-oh. Verticality going to be tough there. Got the audio cue, but not the kill. Automatic is low.
What a flash.
But flashbangs mean that you don't need to have health. It's all into JazzPimp to slow this down. His teammates are nowhere close at hand. But JazzPimp with the rifle, the big gun here. Can he get her done? CeRq coming into support. JazzPimp there. B-Will's firing. But it's all into CeRq now. Just a Deagle and a prayer and one. But no more. It's all over. The Evil Geniuses have completed their master plan, or at least the first stage of it. Moving up 1-0 here at IEM Road to Rio.
Yeah, a dominant performance from EG. 14-1 in the first half helps pretty much any team, and even though there was a bit of a resurgence for Nouns, which is the good news, right? Not losing 16-1, for example, and they managed to pick up a couple of rounds, build up some momentum into their next matchup, but certainly not the performance